Newsflash, Democrats. America is a republic, not a democracy. Fact check. True.
All right. Real quick, I want to tell you about our friends over at refi.com. Private student loan debt in the United States totals over $300 billion, and about $45 billion of that is labeled as distressed. So what does refi do? They will tackle problems that others won't touch, and they refinance distressed or defaulted private student loans. They provide you with a custom loan payment, and this is the key, based on your ability to pay. They are not a debt settlement company, and they work with each borrower individually, tailoring each loan to your specific situation. You will not be calling a faceless call center. Repeat, you will not be calling a faceless call center. Refi can reduce your monthly payment and guarantees interest rates under 6%, ensuring affordability and financial relief, and they do not care what your credit score is. Bad credit is accepted. Do you have a co-borrower? Refi can get them released from the loan. You can give mom and dad a break, or if you are mom and dad watching, you can get yourself a break. You don't have to ignore that mountain of student loan statements on your kitchen table anymore. Just call 888-YREFI-34 or log on to YREFI.com. That's YREFY.com. May not be available in all 50 states, but trust me, if it's available in yours, you're going to want to check it out if you find yourself in a student loan predicament. Blake, we were talking about aptitude tests. Now, we're about to welcome back national radio, but aptitude tests, good or bad?
Aptitude tests are great. They're one of the fairest things we have in modern life.
No, they're racist.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of things that get called racist in America.
You know what's funny? Charlie loved Thomas Sowell's book on disparate impact. It was Discrimination and Disparities, right? And the whole theme of the book is that you challenge single explanations, like single factor explanations. So disparities are not solely due to discrimination, exploitation, genetics. There's multivariate analysis that needs to be done. It's complex thinking. Like you can't just say.
What's great about aptitude tests is anyone can walk in and do well on a test, whereas every other standard people propose as alternatives. They're always much more likely to favor people who have networks, who have other things they can take advantage of. Like, frankly, it's way better to be a person with money with an informal system than just a system where whoever scores best does best.
Fascinating point. Well, we're going to welcome back radio. Hold right there. I recommend everybody check out Thomas Sowell's book, Discrimination and Disparities. It's one of Charlie's favorite books to quote, and in it, Sowell challenges single factor explanations. And what that means is there is disparities in racial outcomes. Blacks and Hispanics tended not to do as well on certain aptitude tests. We can ask questions of why that is. So they got rid of aptitude tests largely. In order to get into the federal government, you had to take a PACE test, which was, what does it stand for? Professional and
career examination,
yes.
An administrative career examination.
Yeah, and so we still have some tests in the federal government, but widely they've been removed.
That's the important thing about disparate impact. It doesn't actually ban tests. There are still, for example, maybe unless they got rid of it, the State Department has long had a test to get in, for example. But when I said disparate impact makes everything illegal, it literally does make everything illegal. And what that means is that you have government by vibes. So, for example, with disparate impact, a company, if they say, we're just going to give every job applicant an IQ test and hire the top scorers, historically, they would get a very questionable look from the federal government. It would feel legally risky to do. But if they say, you need this or that college diploma to be hired by us, it's very unlikely that they would be questioned, even if that diploma isn't super directly related to what they're hiring for. And both of those things have a disparate impact. Whites and Asians are more likely to have college diplomas than Black Americans, for example. So why is one looked at negatively and the other isn't? It basically just comes down to how the bureaucrats feel. It's vibes-based. And government bureaucrats and lawyers like colleges. They like diplomas. They like liberal colleges dispensing these job-granting credentials to people that you have to pay a ton of money for. And they don't like IQ tests. And so you get this vibes-based government. And then you also get, that's what also drives that HR ratchet that Charlie would talk so much about, which is you avoid getting the government after you by doing all these big, loud, expensive signals that you're not racist, that you're not sexist, because everyone's breaking the law because everything's illegal. So you just are trying to say, don't eat me, because they can't eat everyone. And this all loops around to why we're talking about this today, because one of the great things going on in this administration, something that's not talked about enough, is they have been waging war on this monstrosity. The reason we had those Charlie clips is President Trump did an executive order to roll back disparate impact last April. And just yesterday, we had a great announcement from the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division, where they're going after the traditional disparate impact prioritization in their office. The quote they had from their division: the prior disparate impact regulations encouraged people to file lawsuits challenging racially neutral policies without evidence of intentional discrimination. Our rejection of this theory will restore true equality under the law by requiring proof of actual discrimination rather than just enforcing race or sex-based quotas or assumptions. And the other thing that we had yesterday, because of this, the Civil Rights Division, a bunch of employees of the DOJ's Civil Rights Division have released an open letter denouncing the direction that the department has been headed in. And it turns out about 75% of lawyers, of career lawyers in the DOJ's Civil Rights Division, have left because they are outraged at the direction the Trump administration is taking it. God bless America.
Yeah, this is better than Doge. This is better. You know, like 75% of a single weaponized political
bureaucracy, the woke commissars, as Charlie liked to say, get them out. Get them out.
Former DOJ staff criticized leadership for abandoning civil rights mission. That's a good thing.
It's an amazing thing.
Stand up and clap. And we're gonna give Harmeet Dillon her kudos and a warm congratulatory welcome onto the show, because listen, you're losing 75 attorneys that are leaving the DOJ Civil Rights Division.
200, 75%.
Yeah, 75%. Sorry, more than 200 former employees. Yeah, criticize what they call an ongoing destruction of the Civil Rights Division. This is bigger and more impactful than most people could possibly realize, because Charlie said 30 years. This has been going on for 50 years in our federal government. When you see a sliding of standards, when you see an abandonment of meritocracy, when you see that, I think there's this prevailing fog over the country where it just feels like things don't matter anymore. It's like, oh, well, people just get away with crap and nobody gets held accountable. This is one of the root causes for that, where it's like Charlie used to say, it was like, whose line is it anywhere, where the points are made up and the rules don't matter. That's what modern society is starting to feel like. Why does it feel that way? Part of the root cause of this is disparate impact. And by the way, the legal profession getting infected with DEI and critical theory and all of these things, it floods out into the wider culture and the wider society, government, bureaucracies, civil order, and things fall apart over time. Things disintegrate and degrade. And so if you want to get to root causes, you have to get rid of disparate impact. This is a huge, huge development. And we're going to talk about it with Harmeet Dillon next. Don't go anywhere.